Okay, in this video, we're going to see how to compute the percentile of a data value. And so I'm going to start off with the Major League Baseball salary data set that's mentioned on page 133. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reformat this data set a little differently. Usually when we're talking about rank, remember that we're usually ranking things from smallest to largest, and here I have it in the opposite order. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on column A and just hit the delete button, get rid of everything there. And I'm going to rename this order. And I'm going to sort these now from smallest to largest. So I'll go up to data, sort, and salary, and the default's always smallest to largest. So the league minimum's 555,000. And now I'm just going to go ahead, I'm just going to number these data values in sequential order. So I'm going to start off my sequence, highlight this, and Excel knows how to auto-complete a list of regularly spaced values if you highlight and then drag the first couple of values down. And we have 877 values, if I remember correctly. And there we go. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to compute the Excel. I'm going to compute the Excel ranked values. So I'm going to compute the rank using Excel, which will take into account how we deal with repeated data values. So the command that we use in Excel is called rank average. Be careful, there are a couple of different rank commands, okay? So we want the rank average command. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select the number that I want the rank of. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the array. So I want everything from the first value in the cell, and I'm going to hit Control-Shift down, and it will go all the way to the bottom. Now, you got to be a little careful. If you just hit enter and autocomplete, the default is that Excel interprets the list as descending, and it's not. The list is ascending, the values are going up. So I explicitly have to put a 1 in there. Because I'm going to want to drag down this command, I don't want the list to also move down. So I'm going to have to anchor every value in the list. So I'm going to anchor the starting value in the list by putting a $sign on both sides. And I'm going to go ahead and anchor the last value in that list. Now, I can't do this on my Surface Pro, but most computers, you can just go ahead and click on E2 and it'll highlight. And if you hit F4, it'll automatically put in those $signs on both sides, which is really cool. So you can do that as a shortcut. And we get 21. Where the heck did that come from? Isn't this the first value? Well, we're going to see in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and compute the rank for all the salary data values here. And we're all done. And then we're just going to compute the percentile of each of those data values. And for some reason, this thing is going crazy. Here, come on. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to divide the rank by the total number in the data set, which is 877, compute it as a decimal, and then I'm going to use Excel to reformat it as a percentage, so it'll be expressed as a percentile the way we're used to seeing it. Come on. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go back to the top of the list. And now we'll compute the percentile. So the percentile is just the rank divided by the total number, which is 877. Now I'll go ahead and just drag this down. After I get done dragging it down, I'm not going to click off of it. I'm going to leave it highlighted because I'm going to reformat the cells really quick as percentages. I'll show you how to do that really quick here. Almost to the bottom. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this highlighted. I'm going to right click and format the cells as percentages. And I'll leave 2 decimal places there. Okay. Well, let's go back to this first value here with rank 21. Where did that come from? Well, you notice that there's a lot of people at the league minimum. And recall from the example we did in class with that small hypothetical town of 13 people, and we had 32,000 being repeated, right? What did Excel do? Well, it takes the middle value of the order. So if you look here, you'll see that there are 41 people who make the league minimum. So what it does is it takes the middle value, so to speak, and that's how we get that. Okay. If I want to compute the upper percentile, I'm going to subtract the percentile from 100%, but the way we do this in Excel, it's a little tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 1 minus. And Excel understands to convert the output to a percentage. That will be the default. Okay. Now this person's in the 97.61 upper percentile. That may sound really good, but when you think about it, it means that roughly, you know, over 97% of the people in the league make more than he does. Upper percentile is the percentage of people who are above your value. So that's not good. And let's go ahead. We'll just finish off this and compute the percentile for everyone here. And then we'll go back to some of the problems in the book that we wanted to answer earlier. And normally we don't put 2 decimal places on the percentile, but you notice that these upper percentiles are really small. If I rounded these off to no decimal places, all these values here, they would all round off to 0%, okay? And just to kind of keep things nice and ordered, I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to highlight and group all of these together and put a border around them. And then we'll move on to the exercises in the text. So just put a border around these really quick. And I don't know, maybe we'll color these light blue. I feel like Bob Ross. And we'll center these guys and we're all done. Okay, let's go on to the book problems now. I'm going to leave 2 spaces here. You'll see why in a little bit. So the first problem in the book asks us to compute the median. That's easy to do. Excuse me. So the median here, it's of this data set. And there we go. So the median is basically 1,400,000. All right. Part B asks us, what percentile is a salary of $5 million in? So this is our salary here. And we wanted $5 million, so that's 5 with 6 zeros after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to reformat this as currency just so everything's in the same form. When you're making $5 million, you don't care about the change. And now I'm going to go ahead and put percentile. And I'm going to use the rank average command, just like we did before. So rank average, this is my value. This is the list. It's in ascending order, divide by 877, and that should give me my answer. And unfortunately, sometimes Excel auto formats things next to cells with the same format, so I'm going to have to go back now and put in percentage here. It formatted it as dollars for some reason. All right. If we look on our list, we see that's pretty consistent with what we see. If we scroll down to $5 million, we'd find it's roughly in the 76 percentile. In fact, if we do that really quick, let me see if I can get my thing to work here. Let's scroll down to the 72nd percentile roughly and see what it is. Yeah, there we go. And we see that it's around $5 million. It's in that vicinity, right? Okay. Part C we're going to do in the next video, so I'm going to leave that blank for right now. Let's go ahead and work on part D. This is an interesting problem. So it asks us what the average salary is, what the mean salary is. So let's go ahead and compute that. Use the average command. I'm going to try the rank average command again, and you're going to see it's not going to work, and the question is why. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try this. I'm going to cut and paste it, and then just paste it here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the value that I'm ranking to the average, and we're going to see that it's not going to work. Why? Okay, notice the reason why rank average doesn't work is the value that you're ranking has to be in the data set. And there's no one in this data set who's making exactly 4,509,878. So how do we get the rank? We do it exactly the way we did before. We find the number of values that are less than or equal to this value, and we divide it by 877. So there's a number of different ways we can do this. One way we can use the COUNTIF command. You don't have to do this, by the way, okay? But I'll do this really quick. We could also just search down the list. So I want to count how many data values are less than this data value. It might not like, let me enter it by hand. 4, 5, 9, 8, 7, 8. Hold on a second. I might have to just search. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to convert this to a number. Concurrency. You have to put it in quotes. Sorry, that's what I forgot earlier. My bad. There's 614 values less than this, okay? So now I can go ahead and divide this by 877 and then convert that to a percentage. And I'm done. Okay. It's in the 70th percentile. And notice that this makes sense, okay? This salary is less than 5 million. It's in a lower percentile. Notice also that it makes sense with the median too, okay? The percentile for the median is the 50th percentile. Okay. So we know that because the data values are right skewed, right? Salaries are generally right skewed. That's going to pull the mean or the average out from the median. And sure enough, we see the average salary is in a higher percentile. That's that trick that Scott Boras used that we were talking about in class. All right, in the next video, we're going to go backwards. We're going to see how to take a percentile and find out where it would be in an actual data set.